the story of the moment right here, because it was the biggest story coming into this season, as well it should have been. Here we are through 12 weeks, and they're one of only two teams, Carolina being the other, who have played every single one of those 12 weeks. No bye weeks for this team. So we've seen a full dozen games. Only two teams have given you a full dozen games to look at. Carolina, which is on a bye week this coming week in week 13, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, quarterbacked by Tom Brady. Thus, the story of the entire 2020 non-playing season coming into this playing season. How will Brady look? How will he fare in his first season away from New England with all of these players that he has at his disposal of Pro Bowl quality, whether they're new to him in Godwin and Evans, or they are old reliables like Rob Gronkowski brought in, or I guess you can call him an old reliable because it was just last year where he threw him a touchdown pass and had a couple games with an Antonio Brown. And how will it all look put together? Week 1 looked pretty dreadful against the Saints. Saw him again against the Saints 2 months later, looked even worse. In between, a boat racing of the Green Bay Packers, who we'll talk about on this show in just a couple of seconds as well, because of how they looked against the Chicago Bears last night. Lost to the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football and Nick Foles. It's been inconsistent at best and disappointing at worst, because they are still 7-5. You do look at the rest of the playoff landscape as to who's sniffing it and who's currently in the National Football Conference, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still in good standing to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to fall so far off that they're the 8th or 9th or 10th seed. They won't. So there's still that backstop that the rest of the NFC behind them is not gaining too much ground. As the Cardinals lost in New England yesterday, the Vikings pulled one out on poor Carolina, which had a chance to make Teddy Bridgewater a winner in Minnesota. The Bears lost. We know the Lions have fired their coach and general manager. I told you not to sleep on the 49ers, and they are beginning to wake up a little bit and getting healthier. Richard Sherman and Raheem Mostert coming back. But the Bucs are not falling out of the playoff race. The problem is Brady's never made it to the Super Bowl from the wild card position, and they're going to have to start playing Super Bowl quality week in and week out at some point. And there's only 5 games left at the end of the road. That's it. There's 7-5. There's 5 weeks. Four games left at the end of the road. That's it. Quarter of the season. And I don't know when the hell they're going to put this together. And the thing that totally threw me for a loop is how many times have I sat on NFL Game Day morning in my 10 years of hosting that pregame show on NFL Network? How many times did I sit there on NFL Total Access? I've been, knock on wood if you're with me, I've been the host of NFL Network since day one, 18 seasons worth. How many times when we came on the air in 2003, which is at the outset of the back-to-back campaign for New England that made them champions 3 out of 4 years to start Brady's career. How many times were we talking about, can such and such's offense keep up with Brady? Will they be able to put enough points on the board or control the ball long enough to keep Brady on the sidelines? And now Brady's in that position with Evans and Godwin and Gronk and Antonio Brown. It is jarring to see. And it's not working. It is not working. Now, did they put some points on the board towards the end of the game? Sure they did. Will they be able to use that as momentum coming out of the bye? Who the heck knows? But the number of times that I hear from Kurt Warner, a number of times that I hear from others in our business talking about how Brady does not look comfortable and is not running the offense that he's comfortable running. We had Bruce Arians on this very show 2 weeks ago and asked him. And we flat out asked him, are you, what do you say to all these people in our business, including Kurt Warner, saying that your quarterback's not comfortable, doesn't look comfortable? Do you agree with that assessment? He said, yes. And when I asked him, when do you think he'll be comfortable in it, he said next spring. And I kind of laughed, but I think he was being somewhat serious, and he knows that, he knows he's got a set of eyes. He's a brilliant offensive coach. He hasn't forgotten. I'm genuinely concerned about this team. Genuinely concerned that they're going to be one and done, even if they do stroll into, I don't even know if they'll be fortunate enough to finish the 5th seed to be able to stroll into Dallas or Washington or the Giants. I don't think. I think they might have to go. They might have to go somewhere like Green Bay. They might have to go somewhere
Seattle.
like to Seattle.
Yeah.
Which would be finished. See ya. I think see ya. Because how will he go point for point with those offenses? I can't believe I'm saying that. And this is a week after Sean McVay settled for a field goal and gave the ball back to Tom Brady in that offense with 2.5 minutes to go in a game and a 3-point lead, which is something you'd never do in the history of Tom Brady. You'd never do that. Not even the Big Ten when he was finishing up there and he finally vanquished Drew Henson to take the gig. Honestly, I can't recall a time in Brady's career where I'm seeing this. Genuinely concerned. And Rob Ninkovich, his former player on ESPN, said he needs a new coach. And Jenna Lane in Central Florida asked Brady point blank about everything that I'm talking about and have reviewed for you here, including Ninkovich, right after yesterday's loss.
Hey, Tom, as you guys head to your bye week, there's been some folks that have had some chatter about, you still look like you're running someone else's offense. One of your former teammates even said on TV that he thinks that you need a new head coach. What do you make of all that noise?
No, it's just the external noise that when you're losing, that's what you deal with. So, I love playing for the guys that I play with, the coaches, the whole organization's been unbelievable. And I think we just got to go out and I certainly have to do a better job the last 4 weeks of the year.
Yeah, he chose Tampa, and wisely, I might add, and wisely.
What's he supposed to say?
I know, but it's a spot-on analysis of what we're seeing. It's not working. It's not working.
Not working, no.
And the thing I asked on game day morning yesterday as well to the crew is all of this reminds me of the time where we were covering the Broncos when Peyton Manning got there. Do you remember there was a push-pull with Gary Kubiak, who likes the quarterback under center and booting out, right? And running the offense off of the booting out and the play action of all that. And, Peyton's kind of like, that's great. I'm not 21 anymore, and I don't do that.
Right.
Okay? That's not, kind of what I do. So I like being in shotgun because I like seeing everything. I don't like turning my back to the defense. I like seeing everything up front because I can pretty much figure out what the hell they're doing before they even think of doing it. Because I'm the sheriff. And from my surgically repaired neck up, nobody can beat me. That's for damn sure. And so there was that push-pull. And I guess they found the, if you will, offensive split baby in the pistol position. They put him not in shotgun, but closer to the center. I don't know whatever that is for this situation, whatever that is for this situation, they got to find that in the bye week. They got to find that. If it's like, okay, instead of reading deep to short, because that's what the no risk it, no biscuit is,
right?
Maybe it's let's figure out how to reverse engineer it and do more of the short to deep. Again, I'm not an all-22 guy. I mentioned this on the air, and everybody said it was entirely possible to figure something out. Irv said, forget about no risk it, no biscuit. He said, Brady's the biscuit. Brady's the biscuit, and they better stop risking it with him because he's getting crushed. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.